Recently, I splurged and decided to do one of those comprehensive lab tests that really delve deep into your body, what's going on. I decided to go with Siphox Health because you can do it in your home. You don't have to leave the house. Most of them wanted you to go to Quest Diagnostics. And for me, the closest Quest Diagnostics is like a 40-minute drive one way. And I don't want to do that. Not first thing in the morning when I'm fasting. It just didn't seem... That would probably also have been rush hour, so who knows what kind of traffic I would have been in. It was just like that, something I just did not want to do. I discovered Siphox Health, and you can do this in your home. And yes, it is a blood draw, but it's an easy one that wasn't even painless. And you can bring them up on your phone, a live agent, and she'll guide you through the whole thing, beginning to end. And that was very helpful. I don't know if I could have done it properly without her, because there's a lot of steps and everything. But it wasn't hard at all. I was on the phone with her for 40 minutes, and we did 3 blood draws because I was doing the full test, so I had to do it in 3 different vials of blood. But it wasn't too hard. They do it in your upper arm. And I have to admit, I was nervous at first because I thought it might hurt, but it didn't, because they had like this thing you stick to your arm. She tells you exactly where to stick it. And then you have to pull a lever down, and that's when whatever happens. I guess something goes inside you to get the blood. But I hardly felt a thing. All I felt was a bit of pressure when I pushed the lever down. All I felt was a bit of pressure, and no pain. But it was really easy, and I was like, wow. I'm glad of that too, because I had to do it 3 times to get all the blood. But it wasn't bad at all. Anybody who wanted to do this comprehensive lab test, this is probably the way to go. The reason it took so long is because for each lab draw, I had to put like a heat thing on the area. For 4 minutes, I had to walk around with that on. Then you can put the thing in, and then you had to walk around with the heat over the thing. I don't know what to call it. The thing is taking the blood, and walk around for another. Well, it took me about 3 or 4 minutes. They said you could walk around no longer than 5 minutes, but the blood had to come up to a certain level on the vial. For me, I think it only took like 3 to 4 minutes per vial. But it just took a long time because I had to do it 3 times. But you can also order just like one test for, like, say your heart, which is a comprehensive cholesterol test basically, and then also, or your thyroid or your hormones or whatever, just one test. But I did all of it. I wanted to get a good view of what was going on in my body, because I hadn't been feeling good for a little while, and I don't know, I just wasn't feeling myself, and I didn't know what it was. They dive much deeper than other doctors ever did. I mean, they had tests on there that I'd never seen before. I'd heard of online, but I never had them done to me. I'm 68 years old, no doctor had ever done to it. And it really opened my eyes. When you first bring up the test, when I got the results in 2 days, which totally shocked me that all of them came in just 2 days. But it really shocked me. I'll put up some graphics off the report. It started out, the first thing I saw when I pulled it up was my biological age. That kind of shocked me, and I was kind of bummed about it. It said my biological age, based on my lab results, was 77. That's 9 years older than I actually am. I wasn't too pleased with that right off the bat. And after that, I went down. The first thing they showed was the heart health. Now, I had known that was probably going to be bad because silly me decided not to refill my cholesterol statin that I was taking. I was on a low-dose statin. I had been since I was like off and on since I was 40. And the results were much worse than I thought they were going to be, to tell you the truth. I mean, I give you like percentages of how good or bad you are. And for the heart health, I was 62%, which wasn't that great. It wasn't the worst out of all of them, but it wasn't that great. My total cholesterol was 356. I'd never seen it that high before in my life. And I had gone off the statins before. I think the most I'd ever seen it was 270. But I think back on it, and it's like, okay, I changed my diet since last time. I am eating more fat, but less carbs, less added sugars, no seed oils, no gluten. But I think all that extra fat kind of added to it. And also, these tests also gave you an ApoB and ApoA number. The ApoB number is, if that's high, you know that it's bad, because there's different kinds of LDL, and ApoB will tell you if you have too much of this LDL, and mine was concerning. So I know I have to go back on the cholesterol medicine. But I refuse to take more than 20 milligrams because I don't want to go on the high dose. I know people have had problems with their statins and all, muscle aches and all this other stuff, and I don't know. But anyway, that was the first set of tests that they showed me. The next one was metabolic health. I mean, that was 74%, so that was a little better. That wasn't bad. I think that included things like your A1C and your insulin and stuff like that. Most of that, I was pleased with for the most part. So that wasn't too bad. Next was a hormone. That had my best score at 80%. Hormones were like the estrogen and testosterone, and yes, they check that in women too, and stuff like that. I did pretty good there. I was surprised, considering I'm postmenopausal, and but it was good. There was no problems there as far as I could see. Kidney health was at 78%. That wasn't so bad either. I mean, most of that looked pretty good, and I'm fine with it all. Maybe I can make a few little changes, but we'll see. Liver, that was 83%. That was very good. Hey, my liver's fine. My thyroid was the worst. That was at 44%. That didn't surprise me because I had thyroid cancer and had my thyroid removed back when I was like 40 years old. I've been on thyroid medicine since then, and over time I've had to change the dosages of this and that, trying to get it just right, and it doesn't. Most people have their thyroid out, usually have low or have high free T4 and low free T3. But I've been on T3 medicine lately, so my T3 is the one thing that was good on the test. And my TSH, which is like the overall, that's the number that most doctors look for at all only, and that was in the hyperthyroid range. And that raised a flag. It was like, okay, this is why I'm feeling bad. Because I started thinking about it. All the things I was feeling were typical of being hyperthyroid. I think I mentioned in a few videos ago that I was having problems sleeping. I was sleeping, like 4 or 5 hours or whatever, then getting up and maybe taking a nap later. Well, over the past couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, I haven't even been able to go back to sleep. I've been living on like 5 hours of sleep because I tried to take a nap and I couldn't. I felt like wired, but also tired. It was like a really weird feeling. And that's typical of being hyperthyroid. And also, I lost 4 pounds in the past month or so. So that's another sign of hyperthyroidism. And what else? Oh, And what also made me want to take this test when I did was I had some bad heart palpitations, like a couple weeks before the test, I guess it was. And I've been having these off and on for like 6 years, 7 years now. And I changed my electrolytes. I started taking electrolytes and they got better because I was getting them at one point, like every 2 weeks. I would have really bad heart palpitations at night, and they would last like 6-8 hours. It was bad. And we didn't know what it was. But the electrolytes seemed to work a whole lot, that and adding the magnesium to my diet. But it's been 9 months at this point where I didn't have heart palpitations. I thought I was free of them, but I had them. And hyperthyroidism causes heart palpitations. So I'm hoping that's all that it was, and I can get the TSH figured out because she lowered my Synthroid, which is a big thyroid medication. So she lowered the dose on that. I'm hoping this will help get me back on track. Because I thought it was over the bad heart palpitations going 9 months without them, but I don't know. This whole thyroid thing, it's a mess. I mean, I thought having thyroid cancer was going to be like, everybody says it's good. And it was in the way that it was, I had 2 surgeries and 1 episode of radioactive iodine, which wasn't a bad thing. It's like I never had to go under, like a lot of people with cancer, they go through chemo and all this other really bad stuff. And this was actually pretty easy what I had to go through. But trying to get your thyroid levels, just right all the time is like near impossible. And that makes this whole thing a pain in the butt. But as long as the cancer doesn't come back, I guess I can deal with this. Me and my doctors. And we are. And nutritional was 80%. That was really good. I'm getting good nutrition, that's for sure. That was one of my best scores, other than hormones. So I was pleased with that. There was one thing that my iron and ferritin levels were really high, and they had a note at the bottom of my action plan of the report they had online, saying that something happened with the red blood cells, and that could affect the iron and ferritin in my blood, but they didn't think it did, so they put the numbers in there. But I was talking to my holistic doctor, and she was saying that very well could be why you have the high iron and ferritin. And I go to see her on May 5th, and she's going to want to take another test, a lab test. This one, insurance will pay for, so we can make sure that it was just that, whatever happened with the red blood cells. Because, it can be a little serious if you have too high iron and ferritin. So we're going to check that out after I go see her. And I'm back on my statins, so that should get better. Overall, this was a really good experience. They also had, the website had all these action plans you could go through, telling you what to do to help your numbers get into the more good and optimal ranges, which was a good thing too. Of course, I'm going to go to my holistic doctor and ask a bunch of questions and see what she says, because everybody's different, and AI doesn't know me and my body, whereas she will. But I'm hoping we can get all this straightened out and I can get a better biological age. Oh my gosh, it was bad. I didn't like that. I'm going to get another test in 6 months, and hopefully it will be better. And I will come back on here and let you know how it goes. It was just a really good experience. If anybody wants a good comprehensive test, or any kind of test that you just can't get from your doctor, because doctors just don't order a lot of these tests for whatever reason, they just order the basics and then just want to give you medicines to they don't give you like lifestyle and nutrition changes on how to get better on your own, which I don't like. That's why I got a holistic doctor. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know what's been going on. I haven't been feeling well. I know it's been 2 weeks since I last posted, and a lot of it was because of that. I haven't been feeling well. I haven't been sleeping well. It's been, I don't know. But I'm glad I got this test, and I'm glad I got the results, and I do believe I'm on the road to better health. I just have to, it's just going to take some time, and I have to like stick with it. And I'm usually pretty good about doing that because I'm really passionate about keeping my health up. Living alone, I don't like being sick at all. I have nobody to take care of me. It's just me. So hopefully within 6 months, everything will go well. And also I have a code. If anybody else was interested in the Siphox Health Test, I have a code where you can get, I think it's 20% off. I'll put it in my description if anybody's really interested. They're not sponsoring me or anything. They just gave me a code to try to get new customers for them, I guess. 20% off. And you can go online and see how it's all done. They show you exactly kind of step by step. There's even like pictures of the thing that goes in your arm. You'll see it. But anyway, I just thought I'd let you know how I'm doing. And until next time, I pray all you guys stay healthy. Bye.